keep waiting for a break in the rain to do this, but I don't think I'm going to get it. However, it's kind of fitting that I have to sit in the rain and talk to my phone in the woods this week, because I have chosen to give you my 2 cents on the tragic story of Job. So I'd like to think Job likes that I'm doing this. Anyways, the book of Job is not just an important part of Christian literature. It's often counted as like one of the masterpieces of world literature, period. Job is this ancient legend, and it originated outside of Israel. And it's a classic character versus God conflict. So this type of writing is like a character's trapped by an inevitable destiny. Freedom and free will are pretty much non-existent in these stories. You find them a lot in Greek tragedies. So Oedipus is fated to marry his mom. Odysseus finds himself endlessly sailing through the Mediterranean because he pissed off Poseidon. So what can humans do in the face of gods and fate? In these stories, the moral pretty much seems to be just endure. So the book of Job exists in Christian literature to compel us to ask the age-old question, why do bad things happen to good people? In the subject of theology, this is a sub-discipline we call Theodicy, and it involves all the argumentation and thought around how a good God could create a world with so much evil. And weirdly, it was one of my favorite disciplines in grad school because the experience of trying to reconcile the problem of evil feels a little like a dog chasing its tail in my head, and now I get this sick pleasure from getting lost in my imagination trying to reason out impossible questions like, where did God come from? Was it aliens? Are the aliens God then? But I digress. Okay. The basic problem in the subject of theodicy is you get one of two options. Either God is all loving and simply doesn't have the power to tinker with every minute detail of life on earth, or God is all powerful and simply chooses not to do anything about the problem of suffering, which of course compromises God's moral goodness. You really can't have both an all-powerful God and an all-loving God logically. So it's player's choice. You want an all-powerful God or an all-loving God? The story of Job illustrates this conundrum masterfully. See, Job's friends are doing what we all try to do. They're trying to help him understand. They're trying to help him flesh out. What could you have possibly done, man? You had to do something wrong. Logically, you had to have sinned in order to be punished right now so unjustly. They're asking the question, why? And it isn't helping. Because Job knows he is innocent, and there can be no logical explanation. And at the conclusion of the saga, when God finally does speak, he doesn't even resolve the problem. Instead, God suggests that Job and his friends have been focused on the wrong question. They've been stuck on the why. Bad things do happen to good people in this world. Job's author seems to imply it's not God's plan. Forced to choose between a good God who is not totally powerful or an all-powerful God who's not totally good, Job chooses to believe in God's goodness. And in Job's freedom, at the end, to now let go of this pesky why, he can move on to the question God would like to see him move in the direction of. And it's one he does have control over. And that question is, what now? Which brings me to all of you. My invitation for you this week is thusly. When faced with the problem of suffering, and your inability to control much, if not all of it really, how can you more actively move from wallowing in the misery of why on the evening news and instead trust and ease into the unfolding and the passing of each moment with a more loving what now? You can share in the comments if you like, or journal about it privately. Player's choice.